Do you own a service business? If so, you may want to pay attention. Do you remember why you started that business in the first place? All the time and financial freedom you were going to have with your family and friends? Then you ended up wearing so many different hats in your business, and the thought around growing the business means more time at work, less time with family and friends, and more headaches with employees. If that's you, we have the solution. It's a simple formula that works, and it starts with structuring your business in a simple way that makes everything else easier. Finding and hiring the right people that actually help you grow the business, and helping you implement the key things to make your whole team more efficient and effective. This is the Pivot Ready Business System by BERGflow. We've helped hundreds of small service businesses grow and become highly successful. Elevate your opportunities, profits, and time freedom. Visit www.bergflow.com/podcast to claim your free video to learn more. You're just minutes away from learning how to transform your service business and your life.
Hey, welcome back, everyone, to Under Pressure Podcast. My name is John McDaniel, your host. And you know what we're going to do. We're going to talk about all things business and under pressure. So you guys know occasionally I'm going to do these segments where it's just me and we're just talking. I'm just going to be discussing and going over something very specific. So last episode we had on Bo Josetti and we talked about the PWNA and the event that's coming up, the Power Clean convention that's coming up in October. Okay. So it's going to be in Glendale, Arizona. Make sure you check that out. If you're a power washer, your window cleaner, if you're looking to branch into that, you need to check it out. And if you're listening to this and you want a pass, okay, I think I've got one left. If you want a free pass to this event, it's not going to include your travel or your stay or any of that. But if you want a free pass and you're hearing this, email me at john@bergflow.com. JOHN@BERGflow.com. Email me, give me your name and info, and I'll send you some info, and we'll get you set up with a pass. Okay, so it was a great interview. Talking about the importance of really just being a part of a community and what you're going to get involved in, what you're going to gain from those things. So anyway, if you haven't listened to it, if you're listening to this and you haven't heard that, go back and listen to it and visit all of the rest of these that we've done in the past, that I've done in the past. There's some golden nuggets, and it's not just from stuff that I'm talking about. Okay. These guests that I have on, they've all experienced, they've gone through it, they're going through it, they're struggling through business, succeeding through business. There's just some amazing shows. So if you're hearing this and for the first time and you haven't, gone back and listened to something, go back and check some of them out. While you're driving around, while you're doing some work, put your earbuds in, check it out. Okay. All right. So right now, if you are seeing this, you're going to see at the bottom, there's a little tick scrolling, and it's www.bergflow.com/TAS. Okay. TAS, TAS. That's Talent Acquisition System. BERGflow is hosting a 2-day deep dive on hiring, how to hire, how to find talent, how to attract talent. When I say talent, I'm talking about people. Okay. Good employees. People who want to work and stay with a company, right? How to find, how to attract, how to hire, and then how to retain them. All right. Have you, those listening, have you ever been to school on how to hire? Are you just checking for a pulse? Whoever comes through the door, get the job done? Yeah. Well, okay. I get it. Sometimes you've got to get the work done and you need the bodies. All right. But if you need key leaders, you better freaking do it right. All right. So we're going to teach you how to do that. And BERGflow is. So It's coming up. That will take you directly to the site. It doesn't tell me if you go to this bergflow.com/Taz. If you go there, I don't know that you're there. Okay, just putting that out there until you actually sign up for the class or put your information in on that site to sign up for the class. I'm sorry, I don't know. So don't worry. I'm not going to email you. I'm not going to be calling you unless you sign up for the class. Okay. Um, but you're going to learn a lot, and the seats are limited. All right, there's not an endless number of seats on this, so it's going to be to your benefit. If whether you're a business owner or you're the one doing the hiring in your company, talk to your boss if you are the one doing the hiring and say, I want to go to this because I need to get better. I need to improve my skills on hiring. That's what we're talking about here. It's 2-day deep dive in Southlake, Texas. Check it out. Okay, now we're going to jump into our topic for today. All right. We're going to be talking about basically why you shouldn't be your own accountant. All right. The importance of actually hiring like a CPA, someone to do your books. If you're a business owner and you're hearing this, you need to listen. All right. And if you're already doing it, it's okay. Listen anyway. Tell your friends who are starting, or if you're thinking of starting a company, this is going to be so important. All right. So we're going to deep dive into this subject, why you should hire a CPA or a financial entity to manage your books. Get them out of the business. If you're doing them yourselves, you need to get them out. All right. And I know you're probably sitting there thinking, man, I can do this. It's not that hard. Really? Maybe it's not. But I do know, and we've been around enough, talked to enough businesses and business owners that if they're doing their books, oftentimes stuff gets delayed, things get lost, they get mixed in the shuffle, the desk is a mess. Things just aren't done as well as they could be. Okay, so now let's dive into it. All right, let's first talk about the risks of doing it yourself. Let's get into that a little bit. So for one, it's time consuming. All right, and let's face it, you didn't start your business unless you are a CPA and you're hearing this. Okay, then that's your job, is to do books. All right, but most of my listeners, I believe, you're probably power washers, window cleaners. You're in a service, like very specific service industry. Okay, and you didn't start your business to spend hours over a month poring over spreadsheets. And I'll tell you right now, the word spreadsheet just grates on my soul. I don't want to see them. I don't like to. I don't want to be anywhere near them. Excel is terrible for me. Okay, and that's just me personally. I'm talking about me. But you didn't start your business to set forever working over spreadsheets and doing all this stuff, right? You still need to see what's going on, but there's no reason for you to be. No, sorry, that's not why you started things. Okay. According to a survey, small business owners spend up to 20% of their time on accounting. 20% of your time. Okay. 20% of your time needs to be going towards working on your business. Okay. And I know you guys, we've talked about it on the show, the 80-20 rule, right? If you're, and this is just, it's average. Okay. We're talking about statistic, but still, you should be spending that time working on moving your business forward, on your business, not working in, and that's working in your business. Okay. Your time is money. Risk of errors. Okay. A small mistake in your accounting or taxes or whatever, man, it could lead to some big freaking problems. Ask somebody. Okay. Go ahead. Call some of your other buddies that have gotten their books out or have had that problem. I can promise you, there's there's plenty of people in the business world right now that can attest to this. A small mistake can lead to big problems. ones that you can't afford. All right. An example, like missing a tax deadline. That's just one. Okay. That's a hefty fine. And it's easy when you are having to work in your business on so many other things while still working on your business, which you should be doing, to miss a deadline. It's easy to procrastinate, put it off, and get to it when you can, and then you're rushed, and now that's where mistakes occur. Okay. Lack of expertise. All right. I'm sorry. Like I said before, if you're in the service industry, there is a good chance. Now, maybe you started as like a tax person. Maybe you started as a CPA and you decided to shift gears and move into something else. But are you keeping up with the laws, right? So lack of expertise. Tax laws are complex and they're constantly changing. So if you're not keeping track of those, you can lose track very quickly, right? So that kind of stuff, if you don't have the expertise you need to have to even, for that matter, to even save you money on your business, that is why most of these tax laws are in place. It's not to tax the crap out of you, right? I mean, they do that, but don't get me wrong. But specifically, if you know the tax laws and you've got someone good that knows about those things, they can save you a lot of money. All right. Things like, okay, you're an LLC maybe, but are you an S corp? That's going to change your filing, what you're saving, right? And if you don't know anything about that, if I just said that and you're like, I don't even know what that is, point. There's my point, right? Look into it. Go to someone, right? You're not the expert. Sorry. You might be able to do math. That's fine. But you shouldn't be doing your books. You're not an expert. Okay. Do your expert stuff, which is your business, and leave this other to someone else. Okay. Now let's talk about benefits of hiring, like a CPA or getting those books out of your business. For one, what we just talked about, expert in tax laws. CPA is trained to understand the intricacies of tax laws. Okay. And like I just said, they're trained. All right. Now, if you're with someone and you feel like there's something, I mean, shop around, ask around, talk to some people. Look into someone else if you're not happy or satisfied with who you're with, and be willing to pay for it. All right. Just like you are an expert in your business. If you're out there power washing, okay, and you've been doing this for years, and you're like, dude, I'm an expert. I know how to get stains off driveways, and I can clean your siding without tearing it up, and all the things, right? That's what you do. That's your expertise. You know it, and you've got technicians that have been trained on it. Okay, that's why somebody's going to hire you. That's why they should hire you to do those jobs instead of trying to do it themselves. And then maybe they, totally screw up their driveway or mess up their siding or whatever. And then you're going to be like, hey, I told you so. You should have hired me, right? Well, it's the same thing with these, getting your books out of your business. Hire a CPA. Okay. It can result in some great tax savings, which you can put back into your business and grow your business. Pay your employees more, things like that, right? Pay yourself more, take a vacation, whatever. Okay. Time saving. Your time is better spent growing your business. Your time is better spent growing your business. Business owners who outsource accounting, outsource their books, save up to 15 hours a week. This is another average. Okay. And all of this also varies on the size of your company, right? Now, if you're just starting, this is some advice you need to listen to and take the moment you can. If it's just you, and you have to forgive me when I say this, like if you're Chuck in a truck or Joe in a truck or Bob in a truck or whatever it is, Jill in a truck, if it's just you, it's still a good idea because you need to be out there hustling, right? And making the money because your time equals money. Okay. It's an even exchange at that point. So, but as soon as you can afford it, you need to do that. Okay, so it's going to save time. And if you're spending an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours a week doing books, guess what? You're not doing. You're not washing windows. You're not power washing a driveway, or you're not doing something else that you could be doing that could be bringing in revenue. Financial planning, a CPA can provide valuable insights into your financial health. All right. Sometimes you don't know where you're bleeding. And all of this to say you still need to look at your P&Ls. Okay. I'm not saying don't ever pay attention to your financials, but a good CPA, someone that's good with your books, they're going to, you spend a little bit of time, just a short amount of time with them, and they'll go over and kind of help you see where you're bleeding. Help with your budgets. What do your budgets look like? And, and we can get into the fact that at some point, as you grow, you need a good operations leader who can look at these P&Ls for you and keep you on budget and keep you on track and basically just give you the reports of it. Now that's depending on the size of your company, right? And that still means that operational leader is not doing the books. The books are out. They're just getting those P&Ls. They're just getting the reports, and they're taking a look at them and then kind of digesting the information. They're going to talk to the CPA. They're going to digest that information so that they can present it to you. And then you guys can figure out, like, are we bleeding somewhere? Where are we losing money? Where can we save money? All right. That is better spent time than actually doing all that, because then you're going to have to do that anyway. Okay. So they're going to have the insights, and they're going to be able to give that to you on your financial health and the financial health of your company. Risk mitigation. All right. A CPA can identify red flags before they become major issues. All right. Like, what about some fraudulent activities or inefficiencies or something like that in the books? All right. They're going to be able to look at that because they're professionals. They're going to see it, recognize it, and get a hold of it before months and months go by. At least they should be if you've got a good CPA. Okay. Now let's talk about what are you looking for in a CPA? Like, okay, John, you've convinced me. I'm going to go get someone to do my books. Who the heck, or where am I going to find one, or how do I do this? How do I go about it? So when it comes to like qualifications, make sure they are certified and have a good track record. Check it out. Okay. If you're having to go to their office down the back alley, trashy, smelly place, and doesn't have a sign on the door, and there's a lot of flies, you're you should be creating this image in your mind right now, right? Because I am of something from a movie, all right, and like some mob scene. All right, no, we're probably not going there. You're not just going to go for the cheapest, okay? This guy charges you $50 a month to do your books. Nah, probably not. All right, so get someone who is certified and have a good track record. Ask around, okay? Check reviews and ask for references if you're going to go and talk to somebody. Maybe you don't know anyone that has one. So when you go looking, look for the reviews. And when you go, if you do get them on the phone or go into their office, say, hey, who are some of your other clients, and can I contact them and just ask them how they feel about it. Now, if they're not willing to do that, go find someone else. Okay. No different than you, right? In your business, you can probably tell people, hey, yeah, go and talk to so-and-so. I do their windows. I do their driveways. I clean their house, or whatever it is you're doing. Okay. Industry experience. Okay. A CPA familiar with your industry can provide tailored advice. Now, books are books, right? So, it doesn't necessarily have to be experience with your business in particular. If you have a power washing, but it doesn't necessarily have to be that exactly, but service based at least, right? because it's basically the same stuff. You got employees, technicians who need supplies, and they're okay. So it's the basic same stuff. Now, if you can find someone really good that's specifically in your industry, that is awesome. Okay, that's awesome. Transparency, open communication is the key. If they're not willing to openly communicate, or vice versa, there's a problem. All right. So regular check-ins and updates, things like that, they should be doing that, and you should be doing that. Cost versus value. Don't just look at the price tag. Don't just, I said it before, don't just be like, man, this person's so much cheaper than everybody else. I'm going with that. How many of y'all have worked for, like, maybe before you were a business owner? Maybe you were born a business owner. That's a joke. You weren't born a business owner, but maybe you've literally never had any other job. Now, it's not likely. You could have started your business at a very young age, but usually you've worked for someone, right? Um, and when you're doing that, you're working for someone else. Uh, you know, when people like present the price tag, right? So it's no different than somebody buying your service, or if you've worked for someone else, they may not be really that expert. You're paying $50, you're paying $100 for this. I don't know, man. People in some of those companies you may have worked for, they could have, like, oh, okay, we're just going to take the lowest bid. What usually comes out of the lowest bid? Crappy work. And I see it. And I talk to these people who are really good at their job at power washing, window, all the stuff that they do, and they'll tell people, I'm not dropping my price. You can go hire that person that is charging less. Go right ahead, and then you're going to call me to fix what they messed up, right? Now that's a little tip for some of y'all out there that are going to be starting businesses or just started. If you're lowballing everybody, man, it's not a good idea. All right. I understand you need work, you need clients, all the stuff, but be professional and do your job well. And that's the other part of this. A good CPA, a good accountant, a good books person, I'm telling you right now, they're not going to be like stupid cheap. Some are cheaper than others. All right. But make sure you're getting all these things that we talked about. Someone good. Okay. Because the value they can bring can far outweigh the cost. It'll cost you more, in mistakes. And you're going to wish you just had them to save you all that money and time and energy. Just pay the money. All right. Uh, okay. What are some alternatives to, like, a CPA? You're like, look, I maybe it's just not an option for me right now. Okay. So maybe an in-house, if you're not going to get them completely out, in-house accountant. So hiring an in-house team is an option. Um, but you're going to pay more money. Okay? Hiring someone, that's why it's just get them out. Get them out. To have someone in-house. Now, at some point, depending on the size of your company, getting like a CFO or hiring a fractional CFO or some, yeah, absolutely. But, we're talking, you're in the 8, 10, $12 million or more, where you're really going to have to really start thinking about that. Otherwise, you can get that, just get it out of your company. But all right, so there's accounting software. So software like QuickBooks can be helpful. You can do that for a bit, and it'll help you. Um, the problem with the software, and like I said, it can help you and help you kind of navigate that, keep track of it better. So maybe that's how you start when you're first starting out, but then as quickly as you can, get them out. The moment you can actually afford that without, like, starving to death, okay, get them out. But that software like QuickBooks or something can help. It's user friendly, but it usually just lacks that personalized advice. Right? It's just going to give you the information you're putting in, and it's going to help you keep track of it and spit it out. right? So, um, yeah. And then, I mean, what we're ultimately talking about is outsourcing. Okay. There are firms that offer like comprehensive services. And that that is also, it's kind of like a one step up from the software, right? Because you're still like they're out, and that's better, and you're not doing it. But the comprehensive service is going to be like basically they're just doing that for you and spitting out. It's not going to be as personalized. So it's expertise at your fingertip, but it may lack that personal touch, right? So anyway, um, so all that being said, we've kind of gone through and touched on these things. The risks, all right, the risks of doing it yourself, the benefits of hiring one, all right, what to look for at a CPA. We've talked about that. If you need to like go back and listen to these, go back and then alternatives, all right. Now, you may have some questions like, how do I transition from doing it myself to a CPA? Well, maybe start by auditing your current financials. Okay, maybe start there. First, find someone, and then do an audit. Um, Maybe you're saying, is it really worth for like a small, but is it really worth it for a small business? Absolutely. The earlier you start, the better. I'm telling you, get that headache out. And here's the deal: like people say, this is one of my things. People talk about like what when I talk about like growing the business and improving the business and all that. They're like, well, I'm happy where I'm at, making the good money, employees are happy, yada yada. Right? It's great. That is freaking phenomenal. Um, but what opportunities are not happening? Okay. What can you continue to give your employees raises? Um, anyway, that's just a tangent. We're gonna stay on the CPA thing. I was gonna go down a little rabbit hole, but the earlier you can start for your small business to get it out, the better. You need your time focused on your business, on different areas of your business, and moving it forward. Not only for you, but for your leaders, the company, people you're leading, your teams, all these things, and the health of your company. So you'll see a lot of people will, they'll tell you, ask them when, for those that you know that have transitioned, say they've transitioned from doing the books themselves, and then a year or two later, they can tell you, like a lot of people, they're going to, I've talked to some, they've seen up to 20% increase in profits, and like reduced accounting errors by 90%, just because an expert's doing it. You're saving on taxes, you're cutting costs, you're finding ways because there's an expert looking at this stuff. And so the money you're spending on that is like a drop in the bucket. Okay. Because you were hemorrhaging in one area, you're bleeding out over here. And maybe you don't even realize how badly. You're like, But once someone who really knows what they're doing, man, they can make all the difference. So I'm going to wrap this up. But if you're still on the fence about this, okay, take the first step by just consulting with a CPA. Most of the time, like that's free. Find a good one, consult with them a little bit, get their opinion, see what they tell you. Talk to your buddies who own businesses. Find out, get some opinions. No, you don't have to just listen to me on this podcast and go, I'm gonna run out and go do it. Do your own research. And if you've already taken this step, I want to encourage you to encourage other business owners who are not doing this to do this. You should be able to tell them how much of a headache is lifted. And if you can't, if it really hasn't helped you, you might need to take a look at your CPA. Because anyone that we've ever run across that has made this step and gotten a good CPA, good book people, it changes their business. Okay. It's kind of like hiring coaches and things like that. There's just a lot of information. Sometimes you're sitting too close to the TV, right? You can't see the big picture because you're too close to the TV. Okay. It's that same concept. And you get expertise. All right. So I just want to thank everyone. If you've tuned in, you've listened to this, and you've hung out to the end, thank you so much. Okay. I am only here to bring you guys information, guys and gals, information that is going to help you. All right. That's why I'm here. I don't make any money off of this. Just trying to get people who have really good information to help you and your company and your business grow, to move forward, to gain insights on things that maybe you just don't have access to. Give you some information before you start your business, or right after, or at any point in your business. Podcasts are great for these things. So I would appreciate it if you'd like, subscribe, tell your friends about it. Any other business owners that in the service industries that could benefit from. I don't even care if it's just one. Share it with them. Okay. And don't forget, if you would like to learn how to hire better, okay, to be really good at it and really get the people, the cost of a bad hire is phenomenal. Okay. It is outrageous. You have no idea. It's not just how much you paid them for that. It's what about the training? What about the time it took to get them there? What about the maybe the uniforms or whatever it is? All these things add up, and what you thought might have cost you 10 grand in a bad hire probably is more like 40, 50, $60,000 more when it all boils down, because you got to do this whole process again. So if you want to be really good at hiring with a really great system that will change the way you find, the way you attract, the way you hire, and the way you retain your employees, you got to come and check out TAS, okay? Talent Acquisition Systems. It's November 9th and 10th in Southlake, Texas. Okay. It's a Thursday, Friday. We're not jacking into your weekend. Yes, you can get away from your business for a couple days. It's fine. Someone there can continue things. If they can't, that's a whole nother reason why you need this skill, to get someone in there that can. All right. And you're going to save right now. Okay. You're going to save. Early bird pricing is going on. This is normally it's like $997 for these 2 days. Okay. Which is not unusual. Sorry. You can go check it out. This is in person, live, hands-on. I'm going to be doing all kind of interactive stuff, right, to help you retain this information. You're going to walk away with a lot of knowledge about hiring. All right. So normally it is $997. No, you're going to get it for cheaper. $725. All right. There's a code that you'll use at checkout. So go to BERGflow.com/TAS and just look, check it out. All the information's on there. All right. You can also go to BERGflow's Facebook page. It's on there. Yeah, it's all over the place. Okay. If you have questions, you can contact me at john@bergflow.com. I would love to hear from you. And if you want one of those passes, Okay, I'll be speaking there. There's lots of great speakers that are going to be at this PowerClean event. PWNA PowerClean event coming up this next month. If you want one of those free passes, send me an email. All right. All right. This has been Under Pressure. Thank you so much for joining us today, where we've been discussing everything business and under pressure. Have a great weekend.